More entrepreneurs and consumers are taking advantage of the rapidly growing e-commerce market. According to Shopify, the estimated growth of this market is expected to reach north of $5.5 trillion in 2022. And the size of the market is only expected to grow year over year, giving credence to the fact that this industry of e-commerce is a win-win for both consumers and entrepreneurs who want to sell their digital products online. There's no doubt that Kathleen Celmins would be in favor of this favorable economic forecast. As an experienced professional with more than 2 decades in the fields of leadership, sales, and lead generation, and marketing, both digital and online, but most importantly, having life experiences as a whole person, it has allowed Celmins to learn the importance of lifestyle, design, and international business building, while also undescribing from the hustle and building a life that she doesn't want to retire from. And now she assists experts in leveraging their experiences and making more money based on their ideas and information. And Celmins joined me this week to tell me more. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. I'll take a moment to welcome you to the program, and I'm super excited to learn how you help businesses and entrepreneurs capitalize on their digital products. Great to be with you this afternoon, and thank you for a few minutes.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and I know, Kathleen, that you help businesses and entrepreneurs really sort of maximize their level of income based on their digital products, the knowledge that they already have. So I'm wondering if you can tell me about all the good work that you do.
Yeah, sure. Well, I believe that anybody who's been in business, even just a couple of years, is sitting on a $100,000 revenue stream somewhere in their Google Drive or their Dropbox files, or how they onboard employees, how they onboard clients, how they built their business. There's all kinds of things that we do as business owners that we don't think is very special, but that other people would pay us a lot of money for. And there's another thing where a lot of these businesses, a lot of my friends and colleagues and people that I help are service businesses. So they have a good service and they're happy with their rates. They've got good momentum built there, but they can't scale because they can't take on more projects. They're completely maxed out. They can't double their rates, although a lot of people probably should be increasing their rates, but that's not really what this is about. But what I want to do is help those agency owners, and the smaller agency owners especially, get to a point where they are able to turn one of their ideas and digital products into an income stream so that they can eventually start to disentangle themselves from the idea of trading time for money.
Yeah, absolutely. And just building on that point, I'm fascinated to ask you, when you think of the term business consistency in terms of using your digital products to really maximize your potential. What do you think of, and how do you define business consistency?
Oh man, when you are able to consistently predict revenue, you are in business for real, right? Like there's a lot of times where when we're first starting out, we have a really big month followed by a really tiny month, and that's tough. It's disheartening. It's challenging. It can be really, really hard for a business owner to keep momentum that way. But if you can scale and grow through digital products and build a marketing system around a digital product, then you can consistently predict some of your income. And that way you aren't so dependent on consistently landing a bunch of high ticket clients every single month.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Kathleen, I was so excited to talk to you because, as I shared with you, I was born with cerebral palsy. And outside of this podcast, I work with businesses to consistently hire folks with disabilities. And I really think the digital age has really provided folks with disabilities a chance to really be seen, heard, and execute on their own vision. So when you think about business inclusion for folks with disabilities, how much of an advantage do you think the digital age has become?
Oh gosh, it's night and day. And I have helped people with a wide variety of disabilities, but a lot of it comes down to, sometimes with chronic fatigue or some other disabilities, that you can work when you're able to work, right? The 9 to 5 world where you have to show up in an office and be physically there doesn't work great for everyone. The splitting up your time and developing something on your own time and selling it, it's a game changer for a lot of people, not just disabled, but just differently abled. It can be a new frontier where you can work when your energy allows you to work. You can scale when it allows you to scale. Not everything has to be in person or even, face to face on a screen.
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell people that everyone's portrait of success is different, and the only level of expectations you have to meet on your own, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and to that point, I know that it's been very important to you throughout the course of your business journey to also really embrace having a lifestyle that you don't want to retire from, and really having a balanced approach to business. So I'm wondering if you can share that with me this afternoon.
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of people that start online in order to get those big, huge buyouts with multiple commas and, I don't know, retire on an island or something. But there's a lot of us out here who are building lifestyle businesses, meaning they can make money the way they want to. They can show up for their clients the way they want to. They can scale their income in a way that makes them more money than it would. And then they can also still go to soccer games or prioritize their fitness or building a business that pays them for their expertise and experience without having to do any of the other extra things, and also without having to build something where they're working so hard all the time in order to get some someday buyout that may not happen. You're able to live your life now, live your life the way you want to now, and know that the money will come in when you're consistent with a few key things.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you also talk about the importance of really spreading your passion to a wider group of people and really having the online world work for them, as our conversation has sort of evolved this afternoon. And I'm curious about why this work is so incredibly passionate to you, and really stressing the importance that anyone can be successful online if they put enough work and sort of sweat equity into it.
Yeah, it's important to me because so many people are in jobs that they hate, and you don't have to. You don't have to be in jobs that you hate. You don't have to tie yourself to an employer who will replace you tomorrow if you get hit by a bus. You can build and replace your income with your skills and your ability on your own. I believe that everybody can do it, but they have to want to, and they have to be a little bit, they have to bet on themselves. They have to be a little bit more able to take a risk than I think a lot of people who are in 9-to-5 jobs think they're in a stable, they have job security, but that can be a myth. But there is no job security necessarily in entrepreneurship.
Yeah, absolutely. And to that point, I'm curious to get your thought on how important it is for entrepreneurs, especially in a sort of saturated digital space, to really be aggressive and assertive and go after whatever it is their vision of success is. So how important in your mind is sort of business assertiveness and being really clear on the vision and goals that you've set out for yourself from a digital perspective?
Yeah, so I think you don't have to be aggressive, you don't have to be assertive, but you do have to go into business knowing that you are selling. In order for somebody to work with you, you must sell your services. And I think a lot of people think they can do some of the like more passive marketing activities. But if you want to make money in business, you need to be selling. People need to know how they can send you money and what they will get in return for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your last point, I'm curious to ask you also, how do you become visible sort of in a saturated market? Because, there are a lot of online entrepreneurs. So in your opinion, what is the key to sort of separating yourself from the competition online?
You have to know what you stand for, and you have to not care about visibility. You need to think the only metric that matters for you in online business, it's not page views, it's not how many people follow you on Instagram, it's how much money's in your account, how much money people are paying you, because that's the only thing that's going to make a difference in your family and in your business and in your life. And we get so caught up on, well, I can't do XYZ until I have 1,000 followers. Well, I mean, that could be true, but if you build followers without setting yourself up as a business first, you're going to have all the wrong kind of followers. So it doesn't really matter how many people are following you. It's how many people trust you, like you, and will buy from you.
Yeah, and to your just building on that point, you talk about helping people find multiple revenue streams and really growing their online presence. But I'm also curious to ask you about the importance of having a narrow focus and really being the expert in whatever it is that you're selling. So how important is that? And how do you help people grow a revenue stream as well?
Yeah, that's a great question, because for me, I've been in digital marketing for over a decade, but digital marketing is really, really broad. And so unless I can say, hey, I can help you build XYZ, people are going to have a hard time remembering what my expertise is, because marketing is so broad and so vague that when I'm able to narrow it down and I can say with certainty that I can help agencies find $100,000 of untapped revenue in their businesses without them having to create anything, then people remember me like, oh yeah, because it's not about courses or digital products necessarily. It's about finding the tools and templates and standard operating procedures that you have in your business that somebody else could buy from you in order to scale their business.
Yeah, and by fully immersing yourself in your business, you say there are ways to sort of monetize your ideas quickly and gain the traction that you're looking for. So tell me about having a focus on monetizing your idea and really using that as a growth metric, not only for yourself from a business and professional standpoint, but also from a personal standpoint as well.
All right, cool. So for an example, tell me like in your business, what sorts of things do you do?
Yeah, so and the work that I do, like having conversations like this, so that I can grow sort of my presence as an online talk show host. I also do some motivational speaking as well. So.
Great. So you're a speaker. How do you have things in your experience, in your brain, in your digital files that could teach other people who are differently abled how to become public speakers?
Yeah, but by leveraging their experiences and by also working with marketing agents. Like, for example, I use a speaking service called eSpeakers that funnels me like different speaking engagements, and I make money from marketing myself as a speaker through that website, and I also have my own website. So there are multiple ways that I try to encourage people to become better speakers.
Cool. Yeah. So that's sort of my diagnostic process with any business that comes to me. What do you do, and how can you spin something like that off in order to help other people? And so if you were coming to me asking for that, I would say, okay, it sounds like speaking is a lucrative revenue stream for you. So then we have what we want to do is find other people who might want to do what you do, and how can we teach them? And so if you were asking me for advice, I would say to you to find one or two other people who might want to have the speaking engagements that you have and teach them your ways. And then from that, but have them pay you to do that. And from those coaching sessions, what you're going to do is then build a digital product around that. And so there's it's a whole process that we follow. It's very systemized, but it's helping people who, in a lot of businesses, if you're not actively working, you're not making any money. So what we're trying to do at the Well-Paid Expert is help people make money without having to physically be there, or to somehow scale their revenue with their ideas without having it to be a one-to-one thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is a good way to boil it down. And you ask people to, you help them sort of be results driven and people focused. So tell me, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think it's easy to forget when we work online, when we look at metrics, and when we're focused on data and numbers. It's easy to forget that there's real people on the other side of every not every social media account. There's lots of bots out there, but lots and lots of social media accounts are connected to humans. Email addresses are connected to people. So when you can change someone's life, it kind of doesn't matter like the volume or the number of people. As long as you're making an impact, you're doing great.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kathleen, I'm also curious to ask you about your definition of women empowerment in business, and what does that mean to you?
Gosh, that's a loaded question. But I'm comfortable with it. So when I think about empowering women, I usually am talking to them about raising their rates and understanding that some of what they're feeling when they feel imposter syndrome is something that has a lot to do with culture and how they were raised, and that it's something that we can overcome when we take action.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kathleen, I'm curious to also ask you um, the importance of sort of having a competitive fire when you want to sell online, because as I've made the point throughout our conversation that sometimes the space that you're entering is a crowded space. So how important is it to sort of develop a competitive fire in business?
Actually, not at all. You don't need to be competitive. You just need to know in your core that you can solve problems for people. There's a very specific set of problems that people will pay for, and there's a very specific set of problems that you can solve. You got to find that overlap and just know with certainty that you can help people. And you don't have to do it better than anybody else, and you don't have to want it more than anybody else. You just have to know deep down that your ideas will help people solve their problems.
Yeah, and Kathleen, from your experience, and my final question for you today has to do with your own personal and professional legacy, both in business and in lifestyle. How do you want that to be defined? Because I know that it's important to you to sort of live a balanced lifestyle as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I have an income number I want to hit, but I also care a lot about being with my kids in the afternoon and going to yoga every day. So there's a huge balance is such a big thing for me, because I feel the responsibility of showing the next generation of my family that it's possible to chart your own course.
Yeah, absolutely. And I lied. I have one more for you. The holidays are coming up. So tell me, what is the holiday favorite for you, and how do you identify with the holiday?
Well, I love the holidays. This year, for my birthday, which is earlier in November, I asked my sister for a 2-month subscription to the Hallmark Channel. So I am watching as many corny holiday movies as possible, and then getting together with friends and family.
Well, I tell you, the Hallmark Channel is a place to go for holiday movies, isn't it? Absolutely. And what's your favorite?
Well, the one that we watch every year on Thanksgiving weekend is Elf.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good one.
No, yeah, absolutely. And finally, Kathleen, if people want to get connected with you, what's the best way they can do that?
They can find me at thewellpaidexpert.com.
Well, fabulous. I want to thank you for engaging in conversation with me about
thank you.
Online business diversification, and for your work in the space. Your time on my behalf and work in the space is most appreciated, and I want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Kevin. It was lovely to chat with you.